The next is the expert system block diagram. You can see there that the expert system block diagram consists of non-expert user. The person who is going to input the data is called as a non-expert user. Sample input is going to put, and that will have a user interface. Okay, and user interface is nothing but the communication between the expert system and the user, the person who is going to use the computer or the expert system. Okay, so he is a non-expert user, so he doesn't know about anything about a particular domain of a problem. Okay, then you will have the knowledge based system, and this side you will have the expert. So you will have the expert on this side. Okay, see there, expert person will be there on this side. Then whatever we are going to send, that then the user interface is going to communicate, and it will give the rules of engine, what are the rules it is going to follow. Then that rules of engine is going to specify that what is the what are the rules that particular domain has to follow, and based and expert is going to send the knowledge based on this domain of the problem what the user is going to input the data. Now that expert in that particular domain, this person is going to design the domain knowledge, and that knowledge based information is going to be shared with the non-expert user. And whatever the solution this non-expert user is required, that information is going to given back. See, advice is given back. See the arrow mark. The sample input is sent by the non-expert user, and that is going to communicate to the user interface. And based on the complexity of our problem, there are some rules have been made. Okay, then the rules engine we call that. Okay, then knowledge based will be sent by the expert person from his domain of knowledge, and that is going to be that information is going to be sent to the non-expert user through the user interface. If any advice is required, that fellow is going to send the information to the expert. Knowledge-based system is going to send the information to the non-expert user. So it is very important to remember that expert system is not used to replace the human experts. Instead, it is going to use it to assist the human in making a complex decision. These systems do not have human capabilities of thinking and work on the basis of knowledge base of a particular domain. And we have some of the case studies where we are going to apply the what case studies based on the expert systems. Okay, and these case studies will have the Dendrol, Mysing, PXDS, and CAD date. Okay, and see, since the mid 1960s, when this expert system work has begun, the earliest of what are now called expert system, much progress has been made in the construction of such program. Whatever the experience is gained in these four suggestions, okay, these systems derive their power from a great deal of domain specific knowledge rather than from a single powerful technique. In successful systems, the required knowledge is about a particular area and is well defined. These contrast with a kind of broad, harder to define knowledge that we call common sense. It is easier to build an expert system than ones in the common sense. Okay, then an expert system is usually built with the aid of one or more experts who must be willing to spend a great deal of effort transferring their expertise to the system. Transfer of knowledge takes place gradually through many interactions between the expert and the system. The expert will never get the knowledge of right or complete the first time. The amount of whatever the knowledge that is required depends on the task. It may range from the 40 rules to thousands of rules. There is a choice of the control structure that is required depends on for a particular system depends on specific characteristics of the system. And it is also possible to extract the non-domain specific part from the existing expert system, and they can use them as tools for building a new system depends upon the domain of the problem, domain knowledge of the particular complex problem which is specified. The process of interviewing a human expert to extract the expertise present a number of difficulties regardless of whether the interview is conducted by a human or by a machine. Okay. Expertise are surprisingly intricate when it comes to how they are going to solve the problems. And they also do not seem to have access to the low level details of what they do, and especially inadequate suppliers of any type of statistical information. That is, therefore, a great deal of interest in building a system that automatically induce their own rules by looking at the simple problems and the solutions what is required for that problem. With the inductive technique, an expert needs only to provide the conceptual framework for a problem and set of useful examples. For example, say, if you are going to consider a bank problem in deciding whether it to prove a loan, one approach to automating this task is to interview loan officers in an attempt to extract their domain knowledge, because we must know what are the rules and regulations of that particular bank is having to provide the loan for a customer. Okay, that is why we need to have an interview with the loan officers. Another approach is to inspect the records of loans the bank has made in the past, and they do try to generate automatically what are the rules that will maximize the number of good loans and minimize the number of bad ones in the future, like that. Okay, so now whatever the case studies we have, the Dendrol, okay, say MetaDendrol we call, was the first programmed user learning technique to construct the rules for an expert system automatically. It built rules to be used by Dendrol, whose job is to determine the structure of the complex chemical compounds. MetaDendrol was able to induce its rules based on a set of the mass spectrometry data. It was then able to identify the molecular structure with very high accuracy. MetaDendrol used the version space learning algorithm, which another popular method for automatically constructing is the induction of decision trees, data structures. Then decision tree expert systems have been built for accessing the consumer credit applications, analyzing the hypothyroid condition, and diagnosing the soybean diseases, among many other applications. This is all about the Dendrol case studies.